What if what you have heard about Jesus as God is missing a piece? Maybe the most important piece. This show is about retrieving those missing pieces, truths that have been misunderstood or forgotten. I grew up a Muslim, and when I first heard that Christians say Jesus is God, it shocked me. It sounded worse than hearing Christians saying he's a son of God. I thought, Astaghfirullah, how can God become human? But later I discovered I had misunderstood. Welcome to the Missing Pieces Show. I'm Esma. Today we're tackling this sensitive question. Do Christians really believe God became a man? As a Muslim, I thought, how could God, who runs the universe, come down to one teeny spot on earth? How could he become created when he was the creator? To me, it made no sense. And I assumed Christian must be blinded to believe this. But what I was missing, can God reveal himself through his creation? In the Quran, when Moses saw the fire, it says, when he came to it, he was called, O Moses, indeed, I am your Lord. So remove your sandals. Indeed, you are in a sacred valley of Tuwa. This is Surah Taha 20:11-12. God spoke to Moses through fire, something he created. That means God can reveal himself through his creation. So the first conclusion I got was that God can reveal himself through his creation. His creation was fire. His creation is a human. So he can reveal himself through his creation. How do we know it's really God? So now that we establish the idea of revealing himself in something he has created, it's acceptable Islamically because of the story of Moses. Now, when we go to the next step and say, how do we know it is him? We got to look at the character, right? We got to see, what is the character that God is known by? God is known to be the creator. He's the one that gives life. In the Quran, it says, indeed, it is we who give life and cause death, and to us is the destination. Surah Qaf 50:43. Only God gives life. Yet, about Jesus, the Quran says, I will create for you. Listen, this is Jesus. This is Jesus saying, I will create for you out of clay the form of a bird. When I will breathe into it, and it will become a bird by Allah's permission now. This is Surah Al-Imran 349. Jesus gives life. He created something. He breathed in that bird, became alive. The breath. This is serious. So the works of Jesus reveal the power of God in him, which aligns with what the Bible say. He says in John 14:10, don't you believe that I am in the Father and that the Father is in me? The words I say to you, I do not speak on my own authority. Rather, it is the Father living in me. He is doing his work. So second conclusion, only God gives life. Jesus gives life. This is all Quran right now, okay? It says that. Therefore, God was revealing himself through Jesus. I think that's a valid conclusion we can make. The third point here, that Jesus is the Word of God. The Quran says he's the Word of God. Surah An-Nisa 4:171, it says the Quran calls Jesus a word from Allah. The Bible takes it farther. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Through him all things were made. Without him nothing was made that has been made. John 1. The Word became flesh. That's in 1:14, John 1:14. The Word became flesh and made his dwelling among us. Christians do not believe a man became God. They believe the eternal Word of God took on flesh to reveal God to us. So why did he come? For what? Well, he had a mission. We'll talk about it in another episode. But think of this like, imagine your boss in a tall office building. You're working like downstairs. And one day your boss came down into your workspace, stands beside you and say, I see you. I understand your struggle. I'm with you. Would you see this person as a humble person, or do you say like, whoa, what a weak person that you came down from way up there to come to tell me that you see me? Do I matter this much? And let's be honest, many of us grew up in homes where love was not always expressed. And maybe that's a strange concept for some of us. Sometimes showing love was even seen as weakness, because I've heard people would say, well, how God, the most powerful, would do something this weak. God revealed himself to show us real love, to teach us how to love. But more than that, he came with a purpose to make a way for us back to him. I'm the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. Spiritual eyes need to be open to be able to really grasp all of these little pieces, because you have the first piece where God can reveal himself. Then you have the second piece where we talk about the character of God, which is, he's creator, he's a life giver. And then we see Jesus doing the same thing. Then we see here that he's the Word of God. And we see in the Bible tells us that this Word became a flesh, dwell among us. Now, this is a heavy truth. This is heavy. And I know it's hard. God revealed himself in Jesus, the Word who became flesh, because he loves us and wants us to know him personally. Ask him to reveal his truth to you. God is such a faithful God that when you seek him, you will find him. He says it. In the Bible, he says it. Seek and you will find. May the missing pieces come together, and may your heart grow closer to him each and every day. This is the Missing Pieces Show. I'm Asma. Thank you for listening. God bless you.